In the end, who bring these bastards? There's no masters. A thousand boots down on the ground.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Deviant Gentleman Podcast. My name's Shane Vitko, alongside my co-host Tommy Vext.
Yo, yo.
What up?
I'm stoked on the new intro.
Yeah, not bad,
It's
right?
tight. No
Good
masters.
stuff.
Yeah.
No masters here. Real quick, Tommy just had his bandana on because of the COVID thing, and he said,
Well, first of all, it's because
I didn't know if he was in a militia
the
or what.
the guard at the front door here thinks he's a special ops.
Yeah.
You know.
You come in with no mask, dude, he's on you, you get fucking tackled. But Tommy
Yeah.
just took it off, and he said he feels like a
golden
retriever in a middle-class white family.
In an upper middle class white
Yeah,
family. I was like,
good.
why am I? I'm like, is my name's Cowboy now? Like, what's going
Yeah.
on here? Holy shit.
So fucking A, dude, you know?
Yeah.
Shit's on fire. People are angry.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. We so what's your neighborhood look like?
So really, so where I am in like mid-city Koreatown is kind of like one area is MS-13, and then across the street is like a nice neighborhood. It's that drastic,
The
right?
thing is, though, you're in K-Town, and you know about the Koreans, the Korean rooftop men.
No.
Oh, so in 1992 in the LA riots, they're back. Koreans are no joke. Because they own small businesses and
Right.
stuff. The men are notoriously Second Amendment enthusiasts. These motherfuckers have all the guns, and what they do is they line
sit
up
on
on
the
the
roof.
roofs of all their businesses.
Well, they've
all-
been down this road before, guys. They're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
fucking- They get
But
it.
don't go to K-Town. No, you'll get shot.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Well,
they really don't care. It's crazy.
The good news is that I live in a shitty enough area of town that no one cares to ruin anything.
That's true.
So yeah, I mean it hasn't but 2 blocks down the street is Melrose, Fairfax, all that shit, and then the other side is the mayor's house, and there's been choppers and every other fucking thing because everyone's been in front of his house. So technically, where I live is fine. It's just kind of the surrounding.
So basically, the
areas.
mayor lives in the neighborhood in between. So basically, the neighbor has used the Asian community to block himself from the MS-13 gang
He's
activity.
shielding himself. He's trying to
Because
start
he knows the Koreans have guns.
That's right. He's trying to start MS-14 over
This
there.
is crazy. I can't wait to read the comments in the YouTubes.
So you just dropped that the Busta Rhymes joint, dude.
I did. So Bad Wolves has a Patreon, and basically we've been putting up. I mean, it's probably going to be a full album. We put up a bunch of unreleased material as soon as COVID started, and then we went in the studio and we've been doing just covers while the band is writing the third record. So we're like in full writing mode, and then one day a week, like I'll run in the studio and sing the vocals like everybody records at home. And we did a bunch of stuff, and so we did a bunch of rock songs. I did a song with Chris Daughtry, which was a cover
right.
of Temple of the Dog.
That shit bangs.
Hunger
too.
Strike. Yeah,
Have you
that's
leaked
not
that
out.
at all?
No, it's not. That's not out. That's not coming out.
Yeah,
That'll
that
come
shit's
out.
banging.
Yeah, there's like
I got to hear it. Ha ha.
But yeah, so it's been interesting. I did a Busta Rhymes. I literally did the verse from the Chris Brown song "Look at Me Now."
Yeah.
And
Bro,
I
it's
was like,
so fast, and it's the same as Busta Rhymes when you go, what?
yeah, it's the same. It's the exact same tempo. I didn't do it the first time.
Do you think a
It
white
took
guy
a
could do that?
bunch.
Could Eminem do that verse?
I don't know if it's a race thing. If he practiced, because Eminem has some fast.
Do you just
stuff.
have to have like enough soul in your blood to get that across?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. The first time I heard it, I was like, yo. Because the real first time I heard anything like that was on 2000's Extinction Level event, and Busta Rhymes had Mystical on a track, and it was called Is They Wildin' With Us.
Right.
And it's the fastest thing I've ever heard. I still, to this day, like, no.
I mean, shit, I remember when
Sugar, Whitechapel.
Bone Thugs and Harmony
Oh,
came
yeah.
out, and you were like, God damn, dude, these
Yo,
motherfuckers
that might
are
be
on it.
Well, I took some of that. I did the Post Malone cover, and I took some of the Bone Thugs and Harmony stuff, and I actually made the Hollywood's Bleeding a little bit more difficult to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I call it stuttering when you like.
Yeah.
When you it's kind of like if you had a guitar and you like like you do a triplet or arpeggio triplet, whatever. I don't know what
that's
it's
all
called.
fucking
All the guitar players
dork
online
tech.
are like, "Oh my god, the singer, shut up and sing."
That's that
Why
dork
don't
technology.
you just
That's like
die?
when I sit here and I go like this, and guys are like, "Oh,
As an audio guy, to see you twisting that chord just really gets me. Shut up, nerd.
Yeah, it's like, let me file my dick down to a fucking input jack so I could fuck my Axe Effects. Like, sick, guys. Sick. Remote people, regular people, like, what's an Axe Effects? I'm like, me too. I don't, hashtag me too. Nick,
dude,
I don't know.
that's-
Nigga, I
you
don't
lose
fucking
me.
know.
You lose me at the music stuff."
So that was good. Bad news. They shot a police officer on my corner on Friday when I came home.
And
Yeah.
I don't
so
know if you alert the
I live
people
in-
to where you live.
I live in Venice. Yeah, I live in Venice, which is I lived in Venice 12 years ago, and that's where I got sober, and then I moved back after going to New York for a little bit and traveling around, and it's very nice. It's very nice now.
Yeah, very gentrified
very-
hipster area.
Well, it's just like I mean, it was always a very mixed neighborhood, but I just feel like because
Venice was popping back in the day, though. Like
Yeah,
gangs
it
and
was
shit,
called
right?
Ghost Town and stuff. So Shoreline Crips are in there. There's still a couple of streets where like the families are still there and like they hold it down, but it's not the same vibe.
They ain't active and shit.
Well, it's just not like I don't know. It's like in Harlem. Like a lot of the drug dealers in Harlem don't mess with the hipsters because they don't want the cops in their neighborhood, and I think that most drug dealers realize like white people spend more money on drugs, so like this, they get charged twice the price, and no one argues. They're like, oh yeah, well, no problem.
Yeah, well,
All
the rich kids got to travel somewhere to do drugs. This shit don't discriminate,
well, it's not a good thing. Speaking of rich kids doing drugs, what's up with the opioid crisis?
bro. It's like, so I work in the addiction treatment field, as do you, but when I came out to California in 2015, it was like this huge influx of like New York, Boston, Jersey. Boom, we all came out
Oh,
here.
yeah, I
It
remember
was
that.
hitting hard. This was kind of right around when the fentanyl thing started, and I think kind of we were doing fentanyl before anyone even knew really that it was
The rehab
involved.
migration, I call it.
And then, whatever the new thing was with insurance fraud or however they were getting people out here. And now the big influx I'm seeing a lot is a lot of kids from Ohio, so the Ohio thing's coming. And then, like that article you sent, I feel like the next influx is going to be Chicago.
Chicago, yeah. Well, they said Chicago. I read this article. The owner of my record label is Alan Kovac, and we talk about this stuff. He was very heavily involved with Nikki Sixx's recovery and Tommy Lee, and he put out the Heroin Diary. So the recovery community is a big place in his heart, and I'm just going over this. I think I've been so preoccupied, because I'm in recovery. I do Zoom meetings, I do therapy, I sponsor guys, but being outside of going to the rooms collectively, it's crazy. There's so many people relapsing and dying.
Yeah.
I mean, in the past, in 2018 and 19, more people died of opioid overdose than the Vietnam War.
It's fucking
Like
crazy.
that's crazy.
And I mean, this isn't doing anything to help with everyone being locked up. And I mean, I know guys that have had time that committed suicide. I'm
Yeah.
going to the VA today to go see a kid that had some time that relapsed. And, this is one of those times where it's, if you're faced with addiction and you don't have things in place on how to still deal with that, because a lot of people hate the Zoom meetings. A lot of people need that in-person thing. So
Yeah, it's been.
how does somebody right now that has 20 days, what's their hope that I can stay sober? Because I don't know that I could have done it without that in-person vibe.
Honestly, I don't know either, man. I don't know either. I think it's a very good question with a very complex answer, but I think it's to me, I think people like us in the community that have time, it's as we're talking about this, it's coming into my stream of consciousness. I have to make a more of a conscious effort to reach out to people who are new
Right.
that are in my sphere. And I think everybody in the recovery community or just family members in general, because, when we talk about addiction, we always talk about the addict and alcoholic, but for every one alcoholic and addict, there's usually like 3 to 4 to 10 family members that are directly affected because of this person's life. And so, it's a tough thing. It's people are looking at COVID-19 and, they're like, there are hundreds of thousands of deaths, and the suicide rate has gone up.
Domestic violence.
The suicide rate is astronomically high. Drug addiction, overdose, relapse.
Pedophile shit, I'm sure, with
I don't know
kids
about
at
all that.
home.
Well,
you know?
yeah. I mean,
Kids that are sexually abused at home that can't go anywhere.
well, I mean, yeah, that's got to be I haven't even considered the nightmare that is. You
Yeah.
know, so, there's a lot of it, and it's interesting because I get a lot of shit because I always get in, I guess you can't really call it getting in trouble, but I say what I think and I do my own research and I don't, and I have my opinions about things. And I think that, we're living in a time where people need to have more open conversations about stuff. And I think because I'll just finish.
No, you're good.
Because I think the recovery community and because the mental health community is being ravaged and devastated by this COVID-19 situation, it kind of, forced me to start looking into things in a different way. And we can get into that later.
Well, I think it's like you said about reaching out to people that are new and shit, because I feel like, and myself included, is, you get sober, things get good, and you develop a life, and you kind of go, I have so much going on today, and I get this, and what time is this, and then the podcast, and then I got to go here, and then I go there, and it's like I don't take 10 minutes to go, man, when I was in a meeting the other day, there was a kid with 30 days, let me give him a call and see how he's doing. I mean, and I think a lot of us become guilty of that, so I think that's good that you brought that up. Another thing is, you are a very controversial person, and you use your platform to speak your mind and do what the fuck you want to do. Part of the reason why I wanted to do this with you. But how do you, or I guess it could be a two-part, is when did you become okay with you get death threats, you get people unfollow you, you get people say mean shit to you. How do you get to a place to develop something that you don't take it personal or that you don't let it affect you?
I think that's kind of the answer is like, it's not personal. What I've come to realize, and I've been in bands since I've been in bands signed to labels and have been in controversy since 2007 or 6 or whatever. And you know what I mean? I just learned that what other people think of me is not my business, and when I grasped that concept, it really, it put me in danger almost, because that sense of freedom, it really doesn't matter to me what people think of me. It matters to me that someone says the objective truth, that not my. This is one thing that really bothers me. My truth. There's a lot of verbiage that we use in 2020 and 2019 and so on and so forth that are. It's this conditioned emotional coddling where we're not able to emotionally evolve because there's this culture of not, if something's wrong or something doesn't go your way, it's the other person's fault, right. And for me, you can't emotionally evolve unless you take responsibility for yourself, one. And then when you take responsibility for yourself, you get a better understanding. You start to have dignity and you respect yourself. And on 2 days ago, there was, we had this Blackout Tuesday thing, which, I understand the need. People feel powerless, right? There's riots going on, and there's, Black Lives Matter are trying to do good with a cause and affect real change on a judicial level and a systemic level to fight systemic racism. However, anarchists like Antifa and opportunistic criminals are using the protests to cause mass destruction and chaos for their own, for either personal gain, which means robbing and stealing, or just destruction and chaos for political reasons because they hate Trump or whatever their reason is. And the byproduct is that all of Americans are being affected by this, and we finally just came out of this situation where we were in this forced government lockdown because of a virus that was supposed to kill 4 million people. It wound up killing 100,000. The CDC even recanted their numbers, and it wasn't as dangerous as they said it was going to be. And so, it's just kind of weird, the rollout. It was like almost, I don't know if it's bad timing, but, the Friday, we were supposed to open stores to go shopping again, and then boom, riots happened. And for the first time in American history, there were riots in retail areas, which has never happened
Right.
in our lifetime.
Yeah.
So it seems kind of strange, and then it continues
Yeah.
on. So I don't really. There's too many coincidences, and now now the news is saying that that George Floyd had coronavirus. And I said 3 days ago on Instagram, I was like, I bet you they're gonna set the next thing is gonna be coronavirus is back, and for some reason, I don't know why, but for all the information leads to we can't go outside.
White people.
No, it's not why. It's not about that. The thing people got to realize, it's like it's really us versus them. It's like
I know.
I think the two
Dude, this
government
whole- this
parties
whole
are having
thing-
a civil war. The Democrats and the Republican parties are having a civil war, and they're using the citizenry as their military to fight this civil war that they're having. Most of the things that are going on in this country right now are foreign to Americans because they're uneducated about our diplomacy in other countries and how we go about changing regimes in third world countries when they have leaders that dictators that we don't like, and it's happening right here.
Well, let me tell you this. As a veteran, right, I seen a video where this lady walks up to these National Guard soldiers and she's like, march with us. Leave this post right now and march with us. We're all in this together. You are protecting power and all this stuff. Right now, as a soldier, I'm thinking to myself, I have orders and I have this and this is. I took an,
Well, you could
but
be
I took an,
court-martialed,
but
yeah.
I took an oath to defend this country from all, terrorist, domestic and
domestic,
foreign
yeah.
and domestic. So as a human being, if I'm standing there, right, and it's like, I have a sergeant and a captain and all these guys, they make the call. So if my captain starts marching with them, is then it okay for me? I feel like there was a lot of guys standing there that went like, I honestly wish I could, but I'm under orders. Like nothing would have been cooler to me than
Yeah.
to see actually that unit go, you know what, you're right, and fall in with the people. Because if that happens and our military
you saw that
forces-
with a lot of the police officers. though.
Yeah.
That was the role that Flint,
Well,
Michigan,
I saw somewhere
and Miami.
I saw somewhere in Long Island where the cops are marching and people are on the side of the roads going "fuck you" and all this shit to the cops, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, bro, this has become such a bananas shit that I don't even want to go on Facebook anymore because it's like blue lives matter, white lives matter, all lives matter, black lives matter. Fuck you, fuck him, fuck this. You don't know shit.
So
I know
so
everything.
check
Half
it out,
these
check
people
it
never
out.
even been into a fist fight.
But this is the
Had an eviction notice on their fucking door. Like,
But this is the interesting thing. Like, we have to take a step back of this, and instead of playing tag on the blame of who's who this, that, the other, there's a greater scope. So the bird's eye view of this, if you could if you zoom out on all the fighting, warring factors, someone is invested in this happening.
Right.
Right. Who is making money off of this? Who is and I don't know. Some people are
not
like,
me.
it's Trump's fault. And other people are like, the DNC and drain the swamp. But who the fuck knows? The reality is that the longer that we continue to take the bait and it's like I said, react off emotion, the more our country is in trouble. And the reality is that, if we don't, sometimes the best action is inaction, and right now, any more smashing and looting and any escalation is only going to lead to more problems. And what I am afraid is going to happen is I think there's a bait and switch game going on, and I think that. And again, I'm not affiliated with either political side.
yeah,
But so this is my overview. So because I say things and I'm like, people are like, that's crazy. But at the top of coronavirus, I said this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, then there's going to be social and civil unrest, and then there's going to be race riots. And people were like, my friends were like, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. And then
look at me now.
and a week ago, all my friends were like, "Bro, what's gonna happen next?" I'm like, "I don't know."
You're the new Nostradamus.
I want to be wrong. Yeah, I don't want to be right.
I want to come to you. You
But
gotta
there's
start
so
writing a
much.
fucking book.
But there's so much information in plain sight that you can look at. And so what I like, the way this looks to me, is the DNC does not have a candidate that can beat Trump. Joe Biden is not going to beat Trump.
But here's the thing, Tony.
And Joe Biden also lost a black vote by
he also
in
does
one
weird shit to kids' heads.
in one sentence. Yeah. So if he can't beat Trump, they're gonna have to overthrow him. So they're making moves to try to overthrow the president.
So, okay. So
And whether you think that's okay or not,
No,
I'm not here to debate that.
Look, dude,
Some people might be like,
I've never
some people
voted
might
in
think
my
that's
life,
okay.
and I really don't know that I ever will. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, dude, how I feel about. I feel like no politicians. I feel like there's been no decent candidate, and I don't want
Yeah.
to just go. I guess I'll vote for this one because when they all suck, they all suck. What do I?
Well,
I'm
there's-
fucked either way.
That's the majority of critical thinkers are like, well, I can't vote for this person because this person is ridiculous, and I'm definitely not voting for that person. But what do? We it's not really a two-party system. It's just where we are programmed.
Right.
There could be an independent candidate, and everyone could be like, you know what? That I would love to see that. Everyone be like, you know what? We're not doing this anymore. Like,
Dude, I
you
said
know,
this before.
we're
Someone like
gonna
The
make
Rock.
The Rock
The
the
Rock should
president.
be the
Yeah,
fucking president,
You
dude.
get The Rock as the president. You get Will Smith as the vice president. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll do this
You bring
real quick.
back the Attorney General Janet Reno.
One more thing, and then fucking we're done with this because it's too much.
Yeah, it's
okay.
What?
But-
What else?
So there's been riots, there's been this, there's been that, all this shit. We're making it so people know that there's an issue right now.
Yeah.
How does it go? How do people stop doing all this shit? Who goes, here's our demands, this is what we want. We get a new president, we get a new chief of police. What happens that people go, cool, I'll go back to work and stop breaking shit now or protesting? That's what I don't get what the end result of all this is. Who goes,
The
here's an
left
answer.
wants Trump out, and all this stuff is a guise. These are all, and it's not.
And that's not going to happen, though.
But just listen to what I'm saying. Look, we can't ignore the systemic racism and the underserved in the African American community. It's just a fact. So to
is
fix
this,
it,
is this a race issue? Knowing that yes, a white
No,
cop
it's-
killed him, but there was an Asian, black. There were other minority cops there with him.
it
Is
is-
this just not a power against people like that don't have power? A badge to I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Well, you have to look at the way that the media spins everything. Like there was an African American orderly who beat an elderly man and filmed it, but it didn't say African American or a black orderly beats elderly white man. It just said employee beats white. It's white cop kills black man.
Damn it! I'm going out with a White Lives Matter today.
But
Fuck this.
you're insane. So don't go back there. So it's just it's all about spelling and verbiage and the way that we say things, because the news is invested in sensationalism, and they're competing. The networks are competing with the compute. No, they're competing with the internet and independent news and social media. So if you're not utterly terrified, you're not going to watch the news. So it has to be so dramatic. So the news is basically has Hollywood writers writing their headlines now. This is a fact.
It is.
And
The other day-
the CIA is heavily involved in culminating narratives that seem like blockbuster movies. And look at what's, I mean, dude, yeah, what were you say? MSNBC took World War Z.
Yeah. And put a picture of it.
What? You gotta be
But
fucking
honestly,
kidding
dude,
me.
I haven't watched the news in probably 2 years. And then the other night when we were talking and you texted me and you're like, dude, the fucking whole world's on fire right now. And I'm like, what? And you're like, put on the news. And I put on, and now CNN's just been fucking playing in the background in my living room with
Yeah,
all
don't-
this madness. And I'm like, you
Just-
fucking sucked me in, dude. You got me into the thing. And now my girlfriend wants to fucking, she's ready to build a bunker, wants to learn how to fucking take karate.
Because what they're doing with the news, instead of reporting, each news channel, whether it be Fox or CNN or whatever, they have their own political affiliations, and they are reporting the news
Right. Well, it's what's the story you're going to sell? What's going to
they're
sell
selling
fear?
to a certain demographic. But I have noticed that there is a much more vast, anxious, wavering, terrorist mentality behind networks like CNN. They terrorize people.
Humans, yeah.
It's like Clockwork Orange. Like, hold your eyes open and watch all this horrific shit, and then try to rectify, because their job is to the freedom of the press. They're supposed to be blowing the whistle on all politicians and all sides and not have, but you can't do that anymore because these massive companies are owned by people with their own agendas. So we don't even get by the time the information, we get into a fist fight, right? And
I definitely win.
sure, and it gets filmed, and there's a news crew. White supremacist beats up black man, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, Tommy was such a great guy.
He
did so
gave
much for
to
the
charity.
community.
He's a
Yeah,
lead singer. This
fuck.
guy was an ex-convict. He
fuck.
did this, da da da. Oh, but if I beat you up, they're like,
Shucks.
they're like Black Lives Matter on Fox. Black Lives Matter assaults ex-veteran.
Yeah. It's
So you
good.
have
It's
to
good.
look.
You
These
motherfucker.
two sides
right.
are fucking with us.
Black Panther.
Yeah, and then. But that's the fucking problem.
It is.
That,
No,
and
you're right.
people
You're
are
right.
so invested that this information is fucking real. It's all bias. And like you can't rely on that anymore. So
Right. It
people
would
have
never
to,
be two dudes getting into a fight over a chick in Venice.
But back in the day, that's what it was. They're like
Right.
two assholes got into a fist fight.
Right.
What happened? They went to jail. We threw them in the drunk tank.
Exactly.
Yeah, we beat them both up a little bit.
And then a week later, we're in the same place drinking again.
yeah, drinking with the cops
Right.
too. Like that's an East Coast thing.
Fuck, dude. Well, I don't know.
Lighter
I mean,
notes.
Yeah, there's 1,000 other things we get into with this, but fuck that. What shows you watching right now?
What am I watching?
What are you watching?
The news. No, I haven't had time.
I know, dude.
I just finished a biography, and so every day is just emails. You know what
What's
I
the
did?
word on that with a date? You got a date for that?
It's we're shopping for publishers right now. So there's a couple different deal offers on the table, but it's about for people who don't know, when you write a book, it usually takes 18 months to come out, but we're gonna try to put a rush on it.
Tommy's got a sick coloring book coming out.
But what I did there's a movie coming out in September called Snow Babies, and it's actually
Sounds racist.
no, it's about the opioid crisis. It's about teenage kids and how they're dealing with the opioid crisis.
So is it a documentary or is it a
No,
it like
it's
kids?
No, it's like a film. It's like a real
So
film.
like Kids, where it's like filmed kind of real but still a movie.
It's kind of like that. Yeah,
Kids is great too.
yeah, that was raw. This one is this is tackling suburbia though, and it's because that's where the opioid crisis is really
I'm one of
going
them.
crazy. Yeah.
You know?
So that movie is going to come out in September, and it's affiliated with our record label, and so I'm going to be doing a lot of cool work to help promote that and kind of just spread awareness to people who don't know. And I mean, you have danced with heroin, you know what I mean?
I have. We've been on a few dates.
What would you say the hardest part of getting off heroin was?
Dude, it kind of like once you get into that grips of doing it, because a lot of people go like, why would you ever even try that? No idea, but I don't recommend it because once you get into that, and then it's like, well, even times I relapse, and it's like you do it and you don't do it for 3 days, and you go like, all right, this isn't bad. Once you do 1 day, 2 days, you get these back-to-back days, you go, I'm fucked. I'm fucked because I know I'm going to get dope sick and I know how awful that feels. And when it comes to being dope sick, I'm the biggest pussy on earth. And like, I'll take 2 minutes of it and go, I can't do it. Give me something. So like, I always have to go to treatment. Even when I've gone to jail or got arrested, that still hasn't done it. Like for whatever reason, I go to treatment, they take my phone, I sit down, I do what I have to do and like feel it. And it's tough, man, to go through those withdrawals and never mind the physical, your mental of like your emotions are fucking, you're sad.
Yeah,
You're mad.
emotional ability. Yeah.
It's a lot to take on, and I think a lot of people go, "Fuck it, I'm not strong enough to do this." And it's like if you just push a little bit and get through that, now you've got through what I think is the toughest part. Now it's how do I learn how to have purpose? How do I learn how to love myself? How do I learn to be someone that like, because my whole life I'm told I don't matter, or that I'm a piece of shit, or I'm a failure, or all I am is an ex-con, and I'm only going to be this, only going to be that, and my achievements aren't as high as my failures, then I just go like, fuck it, I accept it. That's why the recidivism rate is so high in prison. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm an ex-con. I'm going to do what I know. I'm going to keep committing crime and hope I don't get caught. So I think you come to this place of like, what can I do to change my life? And until you meet other people like you and I that offer hope, and hey man, and that's why like I stay late after my groups and talk to these guys and go like, dude, 2 years ago I was a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
And if I'm where I'm at today, there's no reason why anyone else can't. It's just like, do you want to get uncomfortable? Do you want to talk real shit? Do you want to get vulnerable? Or are you going to feel like a pussy? And my whole life was stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about.
Yeah, same.
And until I realized that
a
I'm
lot
a
of us,
human
yeah.
being and I'm allowed, guess what? I can cry and still, if you want to go out back, we can fucking slang them things. And I was under the impression that all of a sudden I'm going to be like, hi guys, and please don't, because I didn't want to be a victim and like people are going to pick on me and make fun of me. And that's not true.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's one of the funniest things. It's funny that because some people who knew me before I got sober, and I was wild, bro. I used to get in trouble. I beat people up. I got my ass kicked. Like it, and then I remember a couple years after I got sober, I stopped getting out of trouble, and I had a guy boot up to me at a bar that I was meeting somebody to discuss a music project, and I threw him down the stairs. And
It's real quick, just nonchalantly.
yeah, like he's like, you're a pussy now that you're sober. I was like, oh, okay. And I threw him down the stairs. Not a good moment.
Right.
Not a good moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he got the picture. Just because you get sober doesn't mean you're like, I'm more liable. Like I have to do breath work. I have to meditate. I don't have the alcohol and the cocaine and the pills.
To justify that shit.
Not to justify, to fucking keep the dog in the cage. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the downers are like, the mix, the cocktail going up, going down, and then you put meth in the mix, and it's just all it's like out of control.
I was a big fan of heroin because it would just be like, yep, I'm cool, do whatever, say whatever you're doing, see you later. But
Yeah.
I agree. I've even had I had a guy cut me off on the highway not too long ago, and I was already in bad headspace, and I was like, I'm game, and he's doing the finger out the window, and I'm like, I'm killing you.
Have you ever done neurofeedback? Do you have PTSD?
Yeah.
Okay, so do I.
So
Okay.
I actually, who we see, just reached out to me to see her.
Oh yeah. Oh,
this-
that's right. I'm forgetting.
this
You
week.
introduced me
I
to her.
put you
Yeah.
onto it, dude.
So the
That shit
funny thing
changed my
is
life
when
too, man.
right before the COVID thing happened, I was coming from because I was getting out of a relationship. I was like dating this girl who was like she's a great person. And she's a really amazing person, but within the confines of a relationship, she's like
Red flag.
no, she's like, Joseph Stalin. Like, it's not somebody you want to like date. You know what I mean? Because the switch happens, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna murder your whole life." But the thing is that so I was going to neurofeedback because I could not deal with the constant emotional,
But I
physical
think this
abuse.
goes back to what you said about what do you
But the
do?
neurofeedback. Listen, this is the thing. I almost got hit by a car coming out of neurofeedback, and you know what happened? I was like, oh, cool. I was like, oh, and I was just like, oh my damn, that was close. And I kept walking, and I was like, and that guy, I started driving home, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't flip the fuck out. Like, oh my
Dude,
God, it's working.
I'm telling you, that's another one of those things, breath work, neurofeedback. One of these things when people go, what did you do to change so much? And I'm like, dude, honestly, neurofeedback for me was one of I had to put in the least amount of effort and got the most result from.
Well, so for people who don't know what neurofeedback is, why don't you explain the process?
So you go into this when I first started, you used to go in and they hook up these things to different spots of your head, and it's to re-regulate your brain waves. And I'm not a fucking brain scientist or whatever. So
A neurosurgeon.
neurosurgeon. So, anyways, they hook you up to this thing, and when I first did it, you used to play these like dumb as shit video games, like something on Atari, and it's just over and over repetitive and like that kind of. And then they upgraded to this place of where you just literally watch Netflix, and what happens is the screen gets smaller and bigger and flashes, and every time, like I have a lot of face tics from I have nerve damage in my face, and. Every time I blink or you grind your teeth or do anything, it'll take the sound away and makes it white. So I feel like in a way you're watching it and you don't want to miss shit. So you concentrate on not doing that stuff and it really keeps you focused. And I don't know, dude. And it's not like you do it and go, oh my God, I'm great. But after 10, 15, 20 sessions, and I'm like, wow, I haven't literally thought about killing anybody in a fucking while. And that's crazy when every day someone was liable to get killed, But that's one of those things where you and I were talking when you were going through that shit, and I was dealing with some stuff at the time, and like, I think that's the thing of how does someone stay sober in this kind of time? How does someone deal with this? Like you find someone that you can relate to. Hey, I'm going through this. Hey, I'm going through that. And then you're like, what else besides breathwork do you? And I'm like, dude, check out neurofeedback. And then I send you a number and like, that's how this world works is connection and one person goes to the next one, and like, why am I wish that I knew about this shit
Oh yeah.
years ago.
Oh, I wish I
you
was
know?
going for a decade. It'd be great.
It's insane.
Yeah, I
So-
can't wait to go back. So this is one thing that's interesting. So so this is how my brain works because I'm constantly paranoid. So I'm like, the neurofeedback is basically you're watching a video game or a movie, and as it's going, the way that you react to it causes you to have a composed mental calm state. This technology most definitely can be reversed and can be subconsciously played through the news. So I noticed something. Every one of my friends who watches certain channels talk really fast. Whenever you talk about anything that deals with politics, watch for the fast talkers.
That means they're watching what?
It's fucking MK Ultra shit, dude. And I
I don't
you
even know what that is.
MK Ultra is this like CIA program. It's a patent where they can mind control you through a television, and it's so like a conspiracy theory and blah. But the CIA actually coined the term conspiracy theory. So I don't know about any of this shit being real, but I just I like to imagine. I used to trip out, so I'm like, I'm like, wait, if this is working to make me calm, couldn't they reverse the feed to make people nuts? And then I started noticing all my friends who were like, yeah, and then this, and blah, 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 and then I've been thinking about, all the people who watch this channel, all since
All talk to me like they've been
2016,
shooting meth.
yeah, like they're on meth, like methamphetamine. You ever talk to anybody on meth? They're like, and then, oh yeah, then this, and then this person in the tree, and then you know what I mean? Like they see shadow people, like, you know? I'm like, this is fucking trippy, bro. It's really trippy. Super hyper vigilant, hyper responsive. And the thing is that you can ask 20 of these people the same question and they say the same thing. They say the same response. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. That really tripped me out. I also did skipping from conspiracy theories and paranoia back to recovery. Did you do EMDR treatment ever?
Yeah.
That did not work for
Yeah.
me.
So
Oh my
EMDR
God.
is like, it can do two things. They can do the fingers, and then they can do like either the
paddles?
tapping or they have the
Yeah.
clickers. I found that this worked a little bit better for me than the clicking, but I had like one session that was pretty intense, and the rest of the time I do it and go, oh, what's the painting on the wall? Oh, is that a bird? I didn't have the focus for it. It didn't make sense to me, so I didn't really get much out of EMDR. I know people that have, and maybe it depends on who does it, you know, but
No, I did. I went to a
Yeah,
specialist, and it was not a good time.
For me,
I was
really-
like a mess.
yeah, I mean, when it comes to things of outside the program, if you will, breath work and neurofeedback were the two that really changed a lot for me in the way of perspective and how I thought about myself, how I, viewed the world, I guess, my perspective. But you still didn't answer the fucking question. What show? You're not watching any shows.
I'm not watching any shows.
Oh, for the record, Tommy just got a TV, which he never. Every time I've been to his house, has never been a television.
Well, I
which
just
is
got
weird.
it. Well, I just
Then hold on. Then he got a TV and it sat in the box for fucking another week. Then it was out of the box, finally set up with all the tape still around it with the energy saving thing. And I'm like, kid, take the fucking tape off.
But
your
do you see
goddamn
why
television.
I refused to? So first of all, a woman bought me that television, so thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
And I don't watch TV. I don't.
No, he had nothing
watch
set up.
TV.
There was no fucking.
But that's the thing. I haven't watched. This is why I have not watched the
because
television.
the fucking MK Ultra is gonna get you, dude.
No, because like I don't. Well, this is the thing. The only time, like me and my ex lived together. We had a television. But I only watched. I watched Disney Plus and I watched The Mandalorian. I watched Game of Thrones, and then I just watch reruns of movies like that I already love, or like if something new comes out.
All right, so Game of Thrones. You're a fan of Game of
Oh
Thrones.
yeah, Die Hard.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is
with this whole 2020 is the final season of Game of Thrones.
I know.
There's guys, ice dragons are coming. You think it's over? You think COVID's bad, dude? COVID soon. People are going to turn into White Walkers. That's going to be this new strand of COVID.
Aren't we already out there?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's like some meth head is gonna get infected with COVID and then like fuck a donkey, and then there's gonna be a new virus, and they're all gonna fucking. Then all the Black Lives Matter people are gonna turn white and lose their melanin, and it's gonna be a fucking apocalyptic fucking.
So
I could already see the more death threats that are going to be coming into my inbox from this.
That's fine.
And then there's going to be an ice dragon and a giant. They're going to fucking kill us all.
Your death
it's going to be great. I'm getting it, texting them to me right now. Fuck you. You should
Dude,
die. No.
I fucking just finished season 4 of Animal Kingdom, which is a fucking. First of all, the movie's dog shit.
Is that a what do you call Amazon?
It's on Prime, and it's like it's based off an Australian movie that I think is horseshit. But
it's a show.
The show is based in like Oceanside, like Southern California, and it's like a family, and they do heists and robberies and shit. And
Is it a true story?
Nah, it's fake. But
Oh, okay.
But the thing behind Animal Kingdom is I just finished season 4. In season 5 they have like 2 or 3 episodes left, and because of COVID it got cut. They were gonna put out what they had, but then since it's been so long, people will be left on fucking episode 8, so they're just waiting so that they can release the whole thing. So
Yeah.
you know,
but people were supposed to be able. The film industry was supposed to go back to work
know.
Friday, last Friday.
what a coincidence.
Yeah.
So
But wait, there's more. We should have a thing. We should take a poll from the listeners of what is going to be. I'm going to go with. This is what I'm going to go with. Steven Spielberg, right? Civil War breaks out,
E.T. too.
and the left go to Steven Spielberg and the paleontological community, and they bring dinosaurs back, and motherfuckers are riding dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs of freedom.
At this fucking rate, there's nothing that will shock me. Yeah, guys, but, if you have questions, we still have a segment called Gentlemanly Advice. So feel free to send your questions to Tommy, to myself, to the Deviant Gentleman Instagram.
Gentlemanly advice.
Yeah, we'll give you some advice. Or send any questions. Or tell me what you hate about Tommy, and I'll probably agree with you. Are you too cool for TikTok?
I don't go on TikTok because China, it's a Chinese company, and the Pentagon actually mandated all government employees and their family, including their children, are forbidden to have TikTok apps on any of their devices, period. And it's punishable by law. So
What do you prefer Reynolds wrap for your tinfoil hats?
no. So what I'm gonna do is I'm getting another phone, a separate phone, and I'm putting
Burner for TikTok.
no for all my social media. That's not that has nothing to do with my bank stuff or any of that other
No,
stuff.
that's smart.
But listen, I don't come up with this shit. This is like, you understand. I have a lot of friends in high places, and I do what they tell me.
Yeah,
I don't watch the news. I don't go and look up conspiracy theories. I'm like, yo, bro, I have the ability to text message some important
Right.
people, and they're like, you should not do this, and I'm like, why? And then they send me an article and an interview. and I'm
Clearly,
like,
they don't
oh,
care about followers. So
No, they're not allowed to have any.
I know.
You know what I mean?
What a fucking tough life.
It's rough, bro. Listen.
Nah, TikTok's fucking. You know why I like TikTok right now though? Because it's a break from everything that's going on, and people still just fucking being
yeah.
silly gooses. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Now it makes sense that TikTok is a good time.
Right.
Because outside of all the drama going on, I'm just like, why would I make a video of me like doing some weird dance?
Right.
You know what I mean? But now I'm
not
like,
doing all that. But
now I'm like, I need to make some videos of me doing some weird dances. I'm like, I can't take this shit, dude. I put on the Troll soundtrack in the morning and wake up. I cook
I'll
breakfast.
get you on the fucking TikTok.
All right.
Well, fucking A.
How much time do we
Yeah,
got?
what are we looking at, Mike? What do we got? About 20?
15
Cool.
minutes. What should we talk about? Anthony Frisella just texted me. Shout out. Oh, no. Andy. What did you just...
I don't
Yeah,
know who the
Andy,
fuck
what's
that
up?
is. What up, Andy? Good
I got
to see you, guy.
Andy's from First Form. He's the owner.
Hey, man.
Good peeps.
Good to see you.
Real peeps.
Word.
Word. Who should we get on the show? We should ask everybody who should we have on
Yeah,
the show.
who do you guys want to see on here? I probably know more people than Tommy, but if you guys got any recommendations, Tommy's nutritionist,
I don't have a nutritionist. We broke up. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's true.
My personal trainer. Yeah, we should have Justin. So we're putting together a riot squad. Did I say? Oh, yeah, you're on the text.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I'm so fucking happy I get to be on this text and listen to a bunch of heroes now. But at any rate,
Well, listen, come
yeah,
on,
dude,
with
you
your
know.
buddies. Oh, you're not a Marine, you're Army.
am.
Oh, yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, that's okay.
yeah,
Still
whatever.
counts.
Tomato.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude. I mean, look at the fucking whole militia thing is like. Do you think that's necessary right now?
Do I think it's not that? It's just property owner stuff. So most of the property owners in the neighborhood.
Neighborhoods, right? Yeah.
Yeah, everybody in the neighborhood is basically like all the Gold's Gym guys. Like everyone's like,
There's gonna
listen.
be a lot of testosterone in one place, folks.
Well, I mean, like nobody is. It's not. Everybody basically is just like doesn't want homes and businesses destroyed.
Right.
Everyone's for the protest, but the problem is that there's.
Well, look at
these-
what didn't get damaged. People that had ARs and weapons.
Yeah, basically. So, yeah,
But yeah, dude. I mean, fucking,
it's a weird time.
it is. It is.
It's a weird time.
Well, why don't we do a little bit of fucking gentlemanly advice? you
Okay,
know?
yeah, you got
All right,
questions?
I
Let's do
I
that.
got a couple.
All right.
All right, here we go. So, first one. My girlfriend, this may or may not have been written in by a man named Shane Vitkovich. My girlfriend uses an excessive amount of toilet paper every time she steps foot in the bathroom. She uses it for everything and has clogged the toilet more than once. How do I monitor or restrict her TP usage? Dude, my girlfriend uses toilet paper. I don't know what for.
This is your question?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's an
Bananas,
easy one.
dude. What I told her, like, I'm gonna start leaving squares that she's allowed to use throughout the day, and that's it. It's fucking bananas.
I don't know. My initial thing would be to take all the rolls of toilet paper and strip them down till they're just like a little bit,
Right? Just leave that.
and then just leave that
That's
out
I gotta
every
start
time.
rationing, dude. I gotta get a lockbox.
And then,
start
like when
locking
it's
up
the
fucking
last,
toilet
when
paper.
it's the last piece, you should draw like a marker, like a little the guy
Use
from
it
Jigsaw.
wisely.
No, yeah, I want to play a game. Like, I don't know. It's a tough one. Just just make her go somewhere else.
Are you a folder or a baller? So when you use the toilet paper, do you fold it nicely or do you just ball it up and get in there?
No, I'm like I don't fold it.
No?
That's
They say people that ball it up are psychopaths. I used to ball it up, and then I read that in prison. I read an article, and then ever since then, I've been a gentleman, and now I fucking fold it and then fold it again and fold
I
it.
use baby
you get
wipes
you get
too,
a
though.
better overall because if you ball it
I'm
up
a-
and get in there, then what? It's like you fold it, you can get shit on
so
you.
let's be clear. First of all,
I agree with
have
baby
you used a
wipes.
bidet?
I have not.
Oh, bro.
My friend's mother used to have one, and I thought it was for your feet.
Let me explain something to you. This is what America is. Would be the solution to all the problems right now because everyone's so full of shit. We need bidets. A bidet is a toilet. It's a second toilet. So you take a shit and
sit on that one
and
and
then you
just
get in
wash
the
out
other
your
one,
asshole.
and a spout comes up, and it cleans your butthole.
Yeah, I got a colonic before.
This is not that.
It was awful.
It's not that
awful.
Yeah, but listen, bidets, the solution. Get your girl a bidet. She'll never use toilet paper again.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
think
need
you
for
can
toilet
order,
paper.
I think you can order ones that hook onto the toilet.
But
and
dude,
shoot
what's
and do
the
that.
people are like? Oh, we like when the COVID-19, we need toilet paper. I'm like, you need a bidet. You're walking around with shit ass.
Yeah.
I take a shower. Like I'm so weird about poo. I shower like 3 times. Like I don't take a full shower, but if I have like a not sick ghost turd,
Right.
I get in the shower.
There's nothing better than when you give a wipe and it's clear and you go,
Okay,
yes.
so you know about this psyllium husk.
Fuck is that?
Okay, psyllium husk is pure fiber. You can get it at any store.
Well, just tighten up your caca.
No, what it does is it makes you all your poop go shits.
Oh, right.
So and basically you drink it, like you put it in a cup and you have to it coagulates immediately. So you have to pour water in and shoot it before you go to bed. When you wake up in the morning,
Good
your
to go.
poop is gonna because what it does is it pulls all the shit out of your intestines, like all the bacteria, all everything, and then you just poop. And then you wipe once and you go to fucking work. And you don't have to deal with all this.
You're gonna,
girl-
have to tell me.
Oh
whatever
yeah,
that
dude,
is.
it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Psyllium husk. Ladies, if your dude's trying to get in the back door, psyllium husks the night
Psyllium
before.
husk. You know what I mean? There you
It
go.
rhymes,
There's
too.
a free fucking shout out for them.
There you go.
What was I gonna say?
Even works for the gays.
The worst is when you shower and get out, and then I have to shit immediately. That's usually the story of my life.
No, the worst is when. So this is the worst. You might know this from being in the army. You take a shower and you take a fucking whack shower, like a festival shower, and then you have to shit in a porta potty.
Yeah, no.
Anyone who's done construction or worked at festivals, it's
Dude, when
it's a nightmare.
I went to Woodstock '99 and sniffed cocaine, and then went to the porta potties and puked and shit everywhere. It was a fucking nightmare. Awful decision.
At that point, you might as well go in the woods.
Yeah, it was an awful.
It doesn't
decision.
matter who sees you, you know?
Okay. So this is an actual one that someone sent me on the thing.
Okay.
Tommy, I love your music. Shane, I love your humor. You guys come off so naturally cool. I wish I had the characteristics you both have. Were you guys always like this? Because I'm still in high school. I get bullied a lot, and I always wish I looked like you guys.
Oh, yeah, I got tortured in school. Yeah, I got bullied. I got bullied almost until I was like 18.
What do you think it takes to get? Because I was the same. I was very shy and like awkward, and then kind of, got I don't know, life experiences and stuff. But like, what makes people more outgoing or not be so introverted? Or how do you think that you are able to be you?
I don't know.
Why do people say things about you and I as we come off as like these certain type of guys, and why does not everybody have that ability, or what is it that we do differently?
Well, I think that there's the armor phase, right? So like there's like working out and tattoos and being aggressive. It is a phase and a young man's phase, and it's the byproduct of abuse. I've experienced tons of abuse. I've experienced racism, and I'm somebody I'm mixed, and I got picked on by white kids, but I had white friends who, I remember getting like dudes calling me nigger, and then my friend Matt beat the shit out of him. And so I made the distinct difference. And then I remember going to school and getting picked on by black kids, and my friend Darren and Keyshawn beat this other guy up. You know what I mean? And I was a fat kid.
Keyshawn was an Irish friend of yours, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was Irish. Yeah, yeah. But so my life experience of being integrated into so many different races in New York was like, there's just good people and bad people. So that's part of race identity, but that was what attributed to some of the abuse that I experienced growing up. I did experience racism on both sides.
If you had a kid right now that was getting bullied in school, is the answer, I'm going to teach you how to fight and punch this kid in the face? Because that's what I think.
Well, where I grew up, it was like if you go to school and if you're getting bullied and you go to school, the kind of dad mentality is like, if you get your ass kicked one more time, I'm going to kick your ass. And then that shit is scary.
Yeah.
So then you take a brick and you smash a kid's face, and you end up in the principal's office, and your parents have to yell at you in front of the principal. But then you go home and they get you, and they're like,
you want an ice cream?
You know what I mean? But I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's toxic masculinity, which I think is a made up term.
Yeah, but that's debatable, but
yeah,
I think that it is on some level. I think there's negative core beliefs and false masculinity or what it means to be a man. But but I feel like right now it's the day and age of like my kid's getting bullied, and what, I'm supposed to go to school and talk to the principal. I need you to know that little Roger's been getting bullied, and it's not fair. No, dude, I'm not doing that.
Well, this is the thing. Back in the day, community.
I want to go to the kid and be like, I'm going to beat the shit out of your father if you don't stop.
Well, you don't even have to do that to the kid. The whole thing is like the parents have to communicate with each other. Usually, bullies are the children of parents who are beating or abusing in a way their children, or they're being abused by their older brothers and sisters. There's something going on there that
they go somewhere else where they can do what happens to them, because when they go home, they're not the fucking tough guy.
Yeah, it's how they get power.
I mean, I've had, when I was a kid, I remember not even from bullying, but fighting or whatever, and I've had kids' fathers yoke me the fuck up by the shirt and against the wall, and and you're going,
I hit this kid,
and then you go home and tell your old man, and then it's a wrap.
His dad was a Hell's Angel, and I got.
But you do that now, dude, forget about it. You can't be grabbing a little kid by the shirt these days. You'll be fucking on the front news. They won't even care about COVID or any of this shit going on right now. You'll be the next thing smoking.
Yeah, well, this is part of the pussification of the American man. I mean, you see some of the riots and all the things that are going on, and the way that these hipster Antifa kids lose their mind, and it's like, it's because there's no consequence and no discipline and no respect for law and order. And that doesn't mean like police stating, and it's not what life has come to currently, but it's just like, look, it's just, you have a responsibility to behave a certain way. And I was also told, like, once I got bigger, it was like, well, it's your responsibility to look out for other people who can't look out for themselves.
I also don't like this holier than thou stance that a lot of people start taking now, where it's like, look, I know good cops, bad cops, good black, good shitty black, right? And it's like, my experiences with a lot of stuff like that has been shitty, but for everybody that goes like all cops and all black and all white, and it's like, hey, motherfucker, you've never committed crime. Like, the thing is, were cops shitty to me? Yeah.
you have to
but was I being a motherfucker and maybe
listen.
deserve some of it?
What did we just talk about? The bullying. This is a projection. So what happens is within the African American community, they've experienced systemic racism for hundreds of years. The way that they are taking their power back is by projecting a form of blue racism against all law enforcement in a sweeping generalization to make them feel less disenfranchised by the system that has oppressed them. It's not
But is
the
it
police.
fair for someone to say my people that grew up in Beverly Hills and went to a private school and has lived a fucking fine life? It's a very broad spectrum of my people, because do I get to go, well, the Irish and well, the
I don't. Yeah. Well, like the problem is that everyone's lost sight of the fact that we're all Americans. Like, and so it's like if the ship goes down and the Titanic goes down, we're all on it.
Yeah.
We're all on it. So you can be in this part and you can be on that part and da da da. The ship's fucking going down. The ship is going down.
But that's what I love to see about.
We didn't
all of
answer this
shit.
guy's question though.
Well, yeah, but I don't really know.
I guess the answer
bring
is
a gun to school. I don't know.
Don't do that. Don't ever do that. That's the problem is that
I know, and he's
a lot-
definitely white, so don't do that.
Well, the problem is that a lot of kids are experiencing this stuff, and then you can't escape bullying once you leave school anymore because of social media.
Right.
So there's really like kids learn how to be terrorists on social media, and it's just like, look.
And that shit holds a lot of weight, Like, a young kid
Well,
says to a
it's-
girl, "You're fat" online. I mean, that's getting
Yeah.
into her fucking psyche.
Well, the thing is, look. The thing is that who you are in high school is not who you're going to be.
I wish I could.
A lot of people don't realize that, and so.
But I think in
wait,
that
hold on. Let me
age-
finish this thought. In retrospect, it was being who I was then, right, made me who I am now, and so that's a phase that you're going through. But your social status in high school is not going to make you who. Does not have to. What other people think of you. Other people's opinions of you does not define your reality. And that's what we don't teach young people, because you have the exact, and I'm going to tell you this. I went to high school with some bad motherfuckers and some cool motherfuckers. And you know what those motherfuckers are doing now? Nothing. Nothing.
They're sick at Call of Duty.
Yeah, they're fat. They look disgusting. They got a bunch of kids with a woman they didn't want to get married to. They never made anything out of their lives. And they're just,
they have a side clip for their cell phone on their pants.
yeah, and they're drinking themselves to death, or they're in jail, or they
Right.
just, all the, so it's like,
But I think-
all those people, you don't necessarily know where your path is going. You define that path. And that's the thing that makes America so sick. That's why so many people come here, is that you don't have to adopt a mentality of self-victimization. That's what the American dream is. Our ancestors came here. Some were brought here. Some rose up out of oppression. Some escaped oppression in other countries to start a life here. We take it for granted. And everyone is being a goddamn victim. And that everyone is fucking saying somebody else needs to be responsible for me being a fucking pussy. And that's not the case. You define who you are through your actions. You want to have better self-esteem? Do esteemable acts. You feel like shit about yourself? Get a fucking broom, go down to one of these damaged stores and help the shoppers clean up the fucking damage, because that's what I did. I'm not some influencer or what goes around these fucking stupid ass influencers with their fucking black squares or their hands holding. I'm like, so these fucking and bitches still out there fucking putting pictures of their pussies in their asses. Like, listen, ho, shut the fuck up. Like, real shit is going down. And this is what fucking people are doing to try to prove that they're not racist. You don't have to prove that you're not racist.
And don't be ashamed to be whatever color you are.
Yeah,
whether you're black
don't
or
be
white.
ashamed to be black. Don't be
anything.
ashamed to be white. Don't be ashamed to be
Just
Muslim.
be a good fucking person. That's it. Just try that out. Try not being a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's on a regular basis.
yeah.
Today I'm gonna not be a piece of shit.
Right. You already failed, but keep trying.
I know. I wonder how many people's feelings we hurt today.
A lot.
You think so?
But yeah, I think also in high school it's very hard to look past high school, right? Because I thought these are the kids I'm going to hang out with forever. This is how I'm going to know. None of them, dude. Maybe one or two I still keep in touch with, but you know, and on Facebook. But if it wasn't for Facebook, I probably wouldn't even. I'd talk to maybe 2 or 3 people from my hometown. But I feel like in that time, your mind is so small, and you don't realize the world that's out there. And it's like, do what you got to do to survive the bullying, and know that it's a fucking phase, and it's temporary.
Look at the Spartans, right? Look at the movie 300. The kid turns 18, and they kick him into the wild.
Yeah.
That's
Go
life.
fight a wolf.
And then he survives, and he comes back, and he returns a king.
Right.
That's how it is. You know, get the fuck out of here. High school is nothing. It's gonna be gone.
It's a stepping stone.
And then by the time you get integrated into the working system, you're gonna be so fucking miserable that you're gonna look back at high school and you're only gonna selectively remember the good times anyway. So it doesn't really fucking matter. Dude, I have a completely different perspective on high school when I was in my 20s. And I was like, geez, because dude, life is hard. So once you get out of that,
Get a helmet.
yeah, it's just like That's
what my dad used to tell me.
We're those old dudes. We're the old.
I know.
I'm like the guy.
old heads.
Yeah, that used to sit on the fucking porch and smoke cigarettes and just watch everybody in the neighborhood fuck
kids,
up.
That's when these young kids are like, "Yo, what's up, OG?" And I'm like, "Yo, what, dude? Back the fuck up, bro."
I know. It's almost like
be
I'm like,
OG in
yeah,
me,
I got gray in my beard. I'm like, yo, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like,
All right. Well, you guys can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and Anchor FM at Deviant Gentleman Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Deviant Gentleman, at Tommy Vext, at Shane Vitkovich, at Shane_Vitkovich. Send us your questions.
you gotta change that handle, bro.
I tried, dude, and it's taken.
Yeah?
Well, it wouldn't let me. I'm gonna try again. So,
Okay.
Because Tommy told me I needed a rock star name, so it's Shane Vitko. So get with the fucking program, guys.
See that? A black man changed the white man's name. Wow.
Boom. Power to the people. All right, we love you guys. Thank you.
Take it easy,
Later.
everybody.